Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the Tech Ambassadors meeting, September 19th. Hope everybody is well. So, today's session, I just wanted to highlight one thing that we finally got around to adding a website page just for the Tech Ambassadors page. So, if you type in this URL, arcwestchester.org/TA, you'll come to all the recordings of the sessions that we've had and other resources that we have for you guys. So arcwestchester.org/TA takes me about a day or so to post the sessions, but they're good resources. And then, if you have a moment, check around the other parts of the website. Lots of information. I hope everybody eventually becomes a member of the Slack account. It would be a great way for us to exchange information. I've sent out invitations to everybody. If you need me to resend the invitation, just send me an email and I'll be glad to do that. And there is a guide to how to get started on Slack, and it's pretty simple. It's just a way for us to easily exchange information and also exchange files and talk about what we're doing. The lesson that I put together for today is based upon just some recent experiences in some of the day sites, and it's just based upon awareness. I think it's such an important thing for everyone just to be aware of their surroundings, even for a basic thing as safety, be aware of themselves, where you are, and a general idea of time. I don't expect everybody to learn how to get time down to the hour, but at least if you kind of have a general idea of what day of the week it is, what time of the year it is. So take the iPad and take pictures of everybody in the room, all the program members and the staff. If possible, have one of the participants do the picture taking. You might have to do hand over hand, but it's great if they get involved. And take pictures also of your surroundings. So, say, like in the case of New Rochelle, you could take pictures of the front of the building, or you could take pictures inside the various rooms, the PC room there, and just to get a situational awareness for everybody. There are some people that may say, I don't want my picture taken, and just assure them that it's only being used within the program. It's not going onto the website. It's not becoming a public resource. And at this stage, don't worry about editing or cropping the pictures. We're just going to use them for a simple purpose, and that's to help people become aware of themselves and their surroundings. Once you have all the pictures on your iPad, take a look and just say, like, who has that Miracle League t-shirt? And ask everybody to find the person with the Miracle League t-shirt on. Maybe it's several people. And instead of just pointing to somebody, ask them to say, oh, John's wearing that Miracle League t-shirt, or John's wearing a red hat, or, Sam has glasses, black glasses. And it's just to ask about the person, to get them to know the person by name, to be aware of what they're wearing, to know who's on the left and the right side of each person. Just get them to become more focused than on staff, but on each other. Okay. And every time somebody makes a correct identification, huge, thunderous applause for yourself, for the identifier, and make it exciting. It's a game show kind of atmosphere, and people will get all excited. And hopefully, by doing this, they'll look around the room and get an awareness of who is the person sitting next to them 365 days a year. From that point of just identifying the person, let's say, well, how many people are in the room? Can't hurt to practice your counting skills. How many men? How many women? Are there any people in the group whose name begins with B? C, go through the alphabet. Is there anybody here that's really tall? Is there anybody here that's the oldest or the youngest? Just kind of like improvise on it. Go through the activity and just try and get them to be aware of each other. And there's no problem just looking around the room. That's what we're trying to encourage. But please improvise. This is not supposed to be an all inclusive prescription. It's just supposed to be a taking off point. Awareness, and I'm sure all of you understand this, that you go into some day programs and people may not be 100% aware of the day of the week. Is it the first of the week? What are you doing on the weekend? What's coming up? What are you doing? Today is Tuesday. What are you doing tomorrow night after program? And try and start a discussion. What month are we in? Are we in September? Are we in October? What happens next month? Does anybody have a birthday this month or next month? And what month is coming next? What holidays are coming up? This is a great time of year for that because we got all these holidays, just general celebrations, and then the religious holidays. So it's a great way to start thinking about things. This is a good skill that people are going to have if they're going to maintain a schedule, going to work, going into a volunteer position, wherever. You have to have some kind of awareness of what day of the week is it. Am I taking control of my life, or am I just being led along by staff? Am I actually aware of what I have to do tomorrow? And I know that's a long-term goal, but that's where kind of like we would love everybody to get there. And you could take that initial discussion and then move on to where are we now? And taking pictures of the building is great because you can ask them, what town are we in? They may know Mount Kisco, they may know New Rochelle, but do they really know it? Are they at 10 County? Okay. And where do you live? Find out where everybody lives in the class. How do they get back and forth from program? Does anybody take paratransit, or is it always the ARC transportation that's taking you back and forth? And who do you live with? Do you live in a group home? Do you live with your parents? Do you live with friends? And silly question, but sometimes they don't get the right answer. What state do we live in? And they'll say America. Well, what state in America? What is the name, and what is the name of the country? And the distinction between state and federal. It's a good thing for people to know. Situational awareness as far as geography, it couldn't hurt if somebody is eventually going to learn how to take their own transportation. It'd be nice to know whether New York City is north or south of us, and just the whole idea of direction. And is Connecticut west or east of us? And with the iPad and all the smartphones and tablets out there, everything has a map function now. Everything has a Google and Apple Maps function, and you're able to figure that out. Which direction am I going in? If I'm going south and I meant to go to the Danbury Mall, I think I'm in trouble. So it'd be good to know about that. Applying this to the world of work, it's hard to get people to have genuine conversations, but if you do a mock interview with someone, it's great if they perform during the interview correctly with good responses. But I think the most important thing after you leave an interviewer was to remember what was said. So, what was the interviewer's name? What were some of the questions that the interviewer asked you? Did you get a chance to talk about yourself, to talk about the best parts of you? Did you notice if the interviewer held their pen in their right or left hand? Were you observing them? Were you doing what you should regarding eye contact? And what are the next steps? Okay. Were you told to follow up with the interviewer in a couple of days? When are they going to be making their decision? Are you just going to sit by the phone waiting, or can you maybe give the interviewer a call later in the week? I don't know. And if you are going to give the interviewer a call, that's great. But do you have the telephone number, or do you have the interviewer's email? And on exiting the interview, did you shake the interviewer's hand? In reviewing the questions that you were asked, maybe it occurs to you that you forgot to mention something about maybe some volunteer history or something that adds to the depth of your resume. Is there a chance that you could just call up and say, I loved our interview, it was great, and it was great meeting you. But I just wanted to mention something I forgot to mention, and that's that volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club, or whatever, anything to amplify you versus your competition on the job. And thinking about all these things, the awareness of the interviewee, the awareness of people in day programs, what are the basic tech things that we can use that can help us? Um, Reminders, can we put a schedule together of the days of the week? All the day programs eventually, I hope, all have a Google Calendar where they can orient themselves so people coming in each day have an idea of what day of the week it is, what things are coming up. Do you have a volunteer assignment that day? Is somebody's birthday coming up? Are you going on a special trip? Um, if you ask that interviewer for their number, where are you going to put it? If you have an iPad, maybe you could put it in your iPad or your smartphone. Um, Keep your own personal calendar. When am I going to go see my parents again? When am I going to go for that trip to Lake George? All that, just trying to take care of things for yourself. And again, the compass and Google Maps, that's basic parts of any smartphone or tablet so that you'll be able to help with the directions. I think we can have one whole session just on Google Maps and Apple Maps and walking and bus instructions down the road. But we can start people on this. If somebody goes to that interview, ask the questions, they're asked questions, and then the person is trying to remember what questions were asked or what answers that they give. They can put that down in reminders. They can put it down in a text note. They can do a self-evaluation on how it goes. I don't think most of us want a job developer to go into the interview with the individual because that's sometimes a bad sign. So the more that they can get that confidence and get used to asking those questions, the better. And we're always dealing with this assumes some verbal abilities on the part of people, but you really don't have to have that much in the way of verbal abilities if at least you can point or make a gesture at somebody just to get them actively involved. So whether somebody has verbal skills or not, that's not that important. I think it's something I would love to hear your reactions when you try this exercise, especially Valerie, when you get a chance to try it with somebody in the world of employment. That would be great. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Actually, I'm going to pre-record the session because I'm going to be on my way to beautiful Saratoga Springs for a conference. So I'll pre-record the session and post it online.